What's up, boat fans? How we doing? Welcome back to another episode from the What's Nation, also known as the What's Up Tennessee Sports Nation. So, for today's episode, we're here to talk about the roster situation, along with the coaching stuff that's been happening lately. Right? Yesterday, we found out news about Ken Wisenhunt, our head coach. So, first, let's go ahead and dive into things about this 2025 roster. But real quick, if you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram, all platforms, go ahead, send me that follow and like the video. It helps the channel out. So this 2025 roster, right, was released. And we're looking right now at the quarterbacks, Troy Williams, E.J. Perry, and Wynn. So of this from last year, the only person who's a rollover from last year is Troy Williams, right? We no longer have Cookus or Love. I mean, I liked Cookus. I liked him when he played for the Stars. I was excited to get him as a showboat, but he's no longer on the roster. And some of that comes down to the UFL is just not meant for pocket passers, right? I mean, the offensive line plays so bad in this league. You have to be mobile. You have to be able to move around. If you're in the pocket, you're dying back there, right? You're fighting for your life each and every single play. At least these mobile quarterbacks have a little bit of time to maneuver around, and they can make things happen with their legs. And possibly a wide receiver will have time to get open. So I'm excited to see what Troy Williams can bring to the team. Next is these running backs. I mean, we have zero running backs from last year, right? We ended up losing Victor. He was a great runner back. He ended up getting, a league MVP one year. We lost Williams. So now we're back here with Cabote, Prince, and Jackson. I don't really know much about these guys. We'll see which one's even going to be starting for us come week one. But I'm excited for it. See who we have back there. I mean, it's a big turnover for these running backs. For the wide receivers, which comes next, the main guy I want to point out is Jonathan Adams, right? He's a big guy, 6'3". He's been in the spring league for a while. He was with the Breakers. He rolled over to us when the Showboats came about. And I know we lost Vinny Papal and some other guys, but we still have Jonathan Adams, right? So some of these other guys, we'll have to see how they perform for us. For our tight ends, it's a whole new tight end crew, right? I mean, we had Sage Sherrod, who I thought was one of the better tight ends in these spring leagues, right? Especially when he was for the Breakers. I mean, he was catching a ton of balls. Last year, not so much as a showboat, but now he's no longer on the roster for us. So we'll see how these tight ends can handle themselves as we go into this new season. For the offensive lineman, I'm really not going to touch much on him. I just hope they give our boy a little bit of time back there because he needs it, right? He's going to be scrambling around like crazy like all these quarterbacks do in these spring leagues. Defensive line play, hopefully these guys can bring that pressure, to the opposing teams and make their quarterback, make some dumb decisions, right? And these linebackers here for us. I don't really know too much about them, but defensive backs over here. I like this guy, Eric Guerra, right? Tennessee Titans, big Titans fan over here. He's a little guy, short guy, probably too small for the NFL. But for these spring leagues like the UFL, he could be back here making plays. I mean, he made plays in the NFL. I think he's just too short. So I think he could contribute here in the UFL, especially for these showboats, and be a starting cornerback for us. We need that. Then if we get into our special teams over here, you'll see our special teams players. Now, let's scroll up and look at this stuff. Look, they're showing over 10 days till kickoff. Then you'll see the 7 days. Now we're down to 4 days from kickoff. It is so close to the start of this Memphis Showboat season, and I'm excited for it. So right here, a statement from the UFL president and the CEO talking about Ken Wisenhunt, right? They're talking about how they're a family league, and he requested to step down temporarily for some personal reasons, which they haven't come out yet and said exactly what happened. I mean, it's personal. So we now have Jim Turner coming in as an intern head coach, and we'll get to see how this plays out. Typically, when you have an interim head coach, it's bad. It's tough for the interim head coach because typically it's a bad team. Your head coach was fired. You're coming in temporarily to play out the rest of the season, and it's not going to be good for you because the team's bad. But we don't know how this team is. I mean, every team in the UFL has a high turnover rate, as stated before. And now Jim Turner's coming in days. I mean, this was released on Sunday. I mean, it's Monday or Tuesday. It's Tuesday now. And so it hasn't been very long when this news came out, or it's Tuesday. What's today? Today is Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. And so it hasn't been very long that this news has been out, right? And so he has to come in days before the season kicks off and take over this team. But it doesn't mean it's a bad team. It's just a bad situation happened for this team. And hopefully, whenever week one rolls around, they can show that, they're not a bad team. And, it has nothing to do with the team play or anything like that. It's personal reasons on why he's taken over. And perhaps, if or when Ken Wisenhut comes back, he can come in to a winning team, a winning organization, and he's welcomed back with open arms, as they're stating down here at the bottom. They're going to welcome back with open arms. That's good to see, as the season is about to kick off. But that's all I have for today's episode. Let me know how you feel about this roster and the coaching situation down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the What's Nation. And as always, let's go Boats.